All right, I might get a little heated inside of this YouTube video, okay, and I might seem like I'm coming down on you at maybe a rude or an arrogant tone, but I think that this video is extremely needed and it's extremely important because I'm going to be creating an entire new YouTube series, okay? And this YouTube series that I'm creating is I'm going to be documenting and showing you step by step how I started to level up my life as a man. And I think I'm going to call the playlist something along the lines of how to become more attractive or how to get what you want or something like that. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking you through my entire journey from ages 18 to where I am today, going on 27. And I'm going to show you the sequential order steps that a man has to go through in life to become more attractive, okay, to actually attract the type of women that he wants, and not only that, to succeed in the dating game. And this one story specifically, not only am I going to give you 3 solid points in this that you can take away from this video and copy paste into your dating life to start to get even quicker results today, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you my journey that you can use because it starts up here. Okay, we're going to go all the way back to when I was 18 years old. I was sitting in my mom's basement. Okay, I'll put up a picture of how I used to look, okay, versus like the transformation I had to go through. And I will never forget, there was a specific day at the end of the school year. So it was May. I had just graduated and I had to actually, like, I was sitting there. I had bad social anxiety. I had bad social skills. And I'll never forget sitting that day in my room at the end of May. I just got done going for a run. I was I was sweaty, right? I was gross. And I sat there and I didn't like my life. Like, I didn't like how I looked. I didn't like how I talked. I didn't like how I was. I didn't like what I had built, because at the time I had built nothing. Most men have built nothing. And I'm going to explain why this is so bad. I had to commit to change. I had to commit to change. So I'm going to tell you this first and foremost. The biggest reason why you will not attract women, why you will not level up your dating life, why you will not start to actually become the man who you want to be, is because you have not committed that you actually want to improve. Let that sink in. You have not actually put like a flag down and said, I'm committing to getting better. I am committing to winning. I'm committing to being the type of man I want to be. And I'm done with this old life. I'm done with this shitty life that I made for myself. And I'm actually going to learn how to kick ass, win at life, and be good. I'm going to learn how to actually do good things as a man, become strong, become masculine, and become powerful. Guys don't do this. You have to make yourself a man. And I will never forget, at age 18, I had to commit to that. If you have not committed to this, if you have not committed to actually winning in your own life, I want you to comment the word below, I'm committed, right below this video. Okay? You need to comment the word I'm committed, and here's why. When you commit and you finally say, this marks day 1 of my new journey where I'm never looking back in the past and I'm only moving forward and it's only up from here, you will start to get ahead, and I'll explain why. There's 3 specific reasons why most men never succeed with women, why they never succeed in their own dating life, and why they live miserable lives that they don't like. Okay, here's the first. If you are bad at dating, it fundamentally means that you are not fired up about living. Okay, you need to think about what dating is, for an example. Dating, okay, is one of the most beautiful forms of life possible, because here's the thing. When you date somebody, okay, interaction can happen. This is how potential procreation is built, and this is the whole fundamental of living in the first place. Okay? This is how humans have existed for hundreds or thousands of years. That's why I'm so passionate about these topics and actually helping you guys, is because if you don't take this seriously, that life matters, okay? You are on this earth for a purpose, okay? You have meaning in life. If you don't feel like this, if you're not assigning life meaning, so much meaning, if you're not fired up about your own existence, how are you ever going to be fired up to actually take action, change your own life, become the man that you need to be, and go out there and potentially find a mate and procreate one day for yourself? That's what this comes down to. If you're not successful in the dating marketplace, you need to level up and you need to get more fired up about life. If you have a beating heart and you're living, like, that is one hell of an opportunity. Men who are not good at dating fundamentally are ignoring how beautiful life actually is. And I really mean that. They are not fired up about life. They're not fired up about living. They don't have goals. They're not pressing forward on these goals, and they became weak. If you're weak with no balls, this video needs to set in, especially at the start of the new year, and this video needs to actually help you. That is the first thing that you have to do. Number two, okay, these guys don't love life. When you operate on a paradigm that you can tell how into these videos I get, but when you operate on a paradigm where you love life, okay, you're willing to push yourself to levels in growth that most people just aren't. If you love life, you're willing to push yourself in levels socially that most aren't. You're willing to take risks. You're probably willing to do big things in business. You're probably wanting to push to new levels in business and have goals. Like, this is what makes men fundamentally masculine, strong men, is they have goals, they're ambitious, they're builders, they're wanting to love their life, and they're wanting to build an amazing life for themselves, not just live some mediocre bullshit life and then die one day. That is what most guys do. They live a mediocre life and then they die. I do not want that to be you. One of the case studies over the years, one of the clients I worked with, his name was Ryan. Okay, I'll never forget Ryan. He was one of the coolest guys and the coolest transformations I've ever seen, because a couple years ago, this was already back in 2021, I think, maybe even 2020, he came into MBT. Okay, and when he came into MBT, which is my process, masculine behavioral techniques to help guys attract and keep the women that they've wanted, not only did his verbals massively increase, like not only did he become a different man through speaking, but he fundamentally like changed everything about himself. I remember he was leveling up and he was getting like a better job, right? He lost a bunch of weight. He got in like the best shape of his life. If I still even have the video, I'll play it real quick and I'll look. But see, it's
Yo, bros, it's Ryan from the MBT 1%er program coming at you, because this program has absolutely changed my life. I'm able to go up to whatever woman I want, whenever I want, and get push button consistent results whenever I want. Right now, as of today in 2021, I've been working with Zander for over a year and a half. I joined the program May of 2020, and right now I'm in the best shape of my life. I have the most positive masculine mindset of my life. And, well, I have a lot of girls that are interested in talking to me right now. In fact, I just went out with 2 of them this weekend. And I get consistent push button results with whatever outcome I desire consistently. Do you realize how happy that makes me?
transformations like that, when guys see the beauty of their own life, when guys actually see strength and fundamental foundation that they can build, they will take that to the next level. But you have to love life. If you don't value life, you're not going to value dating, because what dating is in a nutshell is you meeting the type of woman that you want, potentially procreating, potentially having a family one day. You know, I've watched guys use my processes over the years. I've seen guys get married by doing this stuff. Like, this stuff works, but you have to start from day one. And day one is you're committing to change. Okay. If you add the last point onto this, okay, guys who are bad at dating, they don't fear death. I need you to let this sink in. Your death needs to scare you to some degree, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's on the other side of that. Okay. And because of that, here's what you have to understand. You are not in a position to waste time. If you value life, if you value your life, if you love your life, if you want success for yourself on the dating game, you have to understand you have a limited number of heartbeats. Men who are not successful in dating, they don't fear their own death. If you actually look at this from a deep level, I had to come to terms when I was 19 years old, and I said to myself, hey, you know what? I'm going to die one day. I wasn't born 6'5". I wasn't born 260 pounds. But what I can do is I can maximize myself. Okay, I can learn how to actually adapt in this world. I can learn how to put on muscle. I can learn how to get stronger. I can learn how to speak better. I can learn how to have more confidence. All of this stuff is learned skills. But here's the fact. Guys who waste their time frivolously, freely, they're just spending it doing whatever. They're wasting their life. They're wasting their time. They're not building. These are men who don't fundamentally value life. If you don't fundamentally value life, it's going to be very hard to succeed in dating, especially if you're not born a natural, because you are not willing to push to the levels that you need to probably get ahead. So this was my day one journey. Okay, I'm making this series so that way you know exactly what to do step by step as a man. You're going to know through this probably 50 to 100 video series. I'm going to show you how to think, how to live as a man, how to operate. So that way, not only do you probably have an amazing girlfriend one day, but for those of you who want a wild and or abundant dating life, this is going to be the exact steps that I use to do it. And this is going to be the exact steps that I know will work for you too. That is why I know that this is so powerful. And if you stay with me on this journey, if you subscribe to this channel, you're going to see probably some of the best, most in-depth content as to how to live as a man. Because my entire journey from when I started at age 18 to now, we're going on close to a decade. And because I can remember every single moment through that, and I can actually have that decade locked in my head right here, I can now share that with you, which means I'm saving you time and energy and hardship and bullshit off of your life that you won't have to go through, because I already put in the hard work for you to show you the step-by-step path that a man has to actually use in his everyday life. So hit the like button. Okay, I also want you to go down below and check out that MBT webinar. Seriously, like, after having thousands of students, after having thousands of testimonials inside of the Masculinity Blueprint, I'm putting on this free training down below where you're going to see the only 4 keys that men need to master MBT for the rest of their life. And you're going to be seeing guys from all walks of life. Okay, you're going to be seeing guys from different backgrounds. You're going to see guys who think that talking to women and attracting who they want is scary. You're going to see guys who have approach anxiety. You're even going to see guys just like you. No special skills, no special talents. A lot of them didn't even go on a self-improvement journey. These guys came into this, they copy-pasted these 4 steps that I showed them down below in this webinar, and they actually went out and got success. So I encourage you, go down below, register for that event. You're going to love it, and it's going to be totally life transformative, and I know it's 100% going to help you. We'll see you in the next one.